Hello and welcome. Today, we're journeying back more than 3,000 years to uncover the story of one of ancient Egypt's most fascinating and powerful women, Queen Nefertiti. Her name, which means the beautiful one has come, is synonymous with elegance and mystery. But Nefertiti was far more than just a pretty face. She was a queen, a religious revolutionary, and a political force who stood at the center of one of the most dramatic periods in Egyptian history. Her iconic bust, discovered just over a century ago, has made her face one of the most recognized from the ancient world. Yet, despite this fame, her life is filled with unanswered questions. Who was she before she became queen? What happened during her reign alongside the pharaoh Akhenaten? And why did she suddenly vanish from history? Join me as we explore the life, the power, and the enduring legacy of Nefertiti, the great royal wife of Egypt. Let's start with what we know about her early life, which, to be honest, isn't much. Her origins are shrouded in mystery, a common theme for many figures from this distant past. The leading theory that she was the daughter of a high-ranking official named Day, a man who would himself later become pharaoh. Whatever her background, she entered the royal court at a young age, marrying the pharaoh Amenhotep IV. She wasn't his only wife, but she quickly became his great royal wife, the most important consort. Together, they would have 6 daughters: Meritaten, Mekhetaten, and Ghasinpoten, who would later marry the famous boy king Tutankhamun, and 3 others. Their family life, often depicted in a surprisingly intimate and naturalistic style, would become a key feature of the era they were about to create. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Early in their reign, Nefertiti and her husband, who changed his name from Amenhotep to Akhenaten, launched a full-scale religious revolution. For centuries, Egypt had worshipped a complex pantheon of gods and goddesses, with the powerful god Ammon of Thebes at its head. Akhenaten and Nefertiti turned backs on this tradition. They declared that there was only one true god, the Aten, represented as the physical disk of the sun. This was a radical shift to a form of monotheism, something virtually unheard of at the time. To solidify this new world order, they abandoned the traditional capital of Thebes and built a brand new city from scratch in the desert, a place they called Akhenaten, meaning Horizon of the Aten. Today, we know it as Amarna. This new city, Akhenaten, was the epicenter of their revolution. It was built with a unique grid-like plan, filled with open-air temples designed to let the sun-s rays the Aten-s divine power shine down on the worshippers. And at the heart of this new religion were not priests, but the royal family itself. Akhenaten and Nefertiti positioned themselves as the sole intermediaries between humanity and the Aten. They were the divine couple, the only ones who could interpret the god's will. This wasn't just a religious change. It was a massive power grab, shifting authority from the wealthy and influential priesthood of Ammon directly to the pharaoh's. Nefertiti was no silent partner in this. She was a central figure, a high priestess of the new faith. What truly set Nefertiti apart from the queens who came before her was her unprecedented level of power and visibility. In ancient Egypt, the roles of men and women were often clearly defined, especially in royal art. But during the Amarna period, Nefertiti was depicted in ways no queen had ever been before. Temple reliefs and statues show her not just standing beside her husband, but taking on roles traditionally reserved for the pharaoh. We see her officiating religious ceremonies, making offerings to the Aten on her own. In some of the most striking images, she's shown wearing a pharaoh's crown and even smiting Egypt's enemies, a classic pose of pharaonic power. She wasn't just a queen consort, she was an active co-ruler, a partner in power who was essential to Akhenaten's reign. This prominence suggests she held genuine political and religious authority, making her one of the most powerful women of the ancient world. The art of the Amarna period is as revolutionary as its religion. It broke away from the stiff, idealized forms of traditional Egyptian art. Instead, it embraced a more naturalistic, and at times, almost exaggerated style. Figures were shown with elongated heads, slender necks, curving hips, and pronounced stomachs. While some have speculated this could reflect a medical condition, it's more likely a stylistic choice, meant to convey a new kind of divine and earthly fertility. This new art style gives us incredibly intimate glimpses into the royal family's life. We see Nefertiti and Akhenaten playing with their daughters, kissing in a chariot, and mourning the loss of a child. These scenes are remarkably human and personal, showing a side of royalty rarely seen before or after. And at the center of this artistic revolution was Nefertiti herself. Her beauty and unique features captured time and again, cementing her image in our minds. The most famous of these artworks is, of course, the Nefertiti bust. Discovered in 1912 by a German archaeological team in the workshop of a sculptor named Thutmose in Amarna. This painted limestone bust is considered a masterpiece of ancient art. Its symmetry, the graceful curve of the neck, the serene and powerful expression, it's breathtaking. The bust shows Nefertiti wearing her signature blue crown, the flat-topped headpiece unique to her. What's amazing is that one of her eyes is famously missing its inlay. Was it never finished? Did it fall out? Or was it an intentional choice by the artist? We may never know. This single object, now housed in Berlin's News Museum, has done more than anything else to make Nefertiti an icon, a symbol of timeless beauty and regal grace. Then, round the 12th year of Akhenaten's reign, something strange happens. Nefertiti, who had been so prominent and visible for over a decade, suddenly and completely vanishes from the historical record. Her name disappears from inscriptions, and she is no longer depicted in art. Her abrupt disappearance has been one of ancient Egypt's greatest mysteries, fueling endless speculation. What happened to her? One simple theory is that she died, perhaps from a sudden illness or a plague that swept through the city. Another possibility, that she fell from grace, that she had a falling out with Akhenaten and was disgraced or exiled. But there's a third, much more intriguing theory that has gained traction among Egyptologists. This theory suggests that Nefertiti didn't disappear at all. Instead, she ascended to the highest power in the land. It is possible that she took on a new name and began to rule as a pharaoh in her own right. Evidence points to a mysterious co-regent who ruled alongside Akhenaten in his final years, and then possibly for a short time after his death. This ruler's name was Nefertiti. Sound familiar? Nefertiti was also part of Nefertiti's full name. Could it be that she adopted this new identity to step into the male role of pharaoh? If this is true, it would mean that she ruled Egypt as a king, preceding the famous female pharaoh Hatshepsut in spirit, if not in name. It's a compelling idea that fits with the extraordinary power she wielded throughout her life. The mystery of her final years is a puzzle that historians are still trying to solve. After Akhenaten's death, the Amarna revolution crumbled. The old gods were reinstated. The powerful priests of Amun reclaimed their influence, and the capital city was moved back to Thebes. Akhenaten's successor, Tutankhamun Nefertiti's own son-in-law, oversaw this restoration of the old order. Akhenaten, Nefertiti, and their son god Aten were branded as heretics. Their names were erased from monuments. Their temples were torn down, and their brand new city of Akhenaten was abandoned to the desert sands. For thousands of years, they were almost completely forgotten by history. It is a true irony that this attempt to erase them is precisely why so much of their city and its art survived, buried and preserved under the sand, waiting to be rediscovered. And rediscovered she was. The excavation of Amon in the early 20th century, and especially the discovery of her stunning bust, brought Nefertiti roaring back into the public consciousness. She became an instant global icon. Her image represents not just ancient Egypt, but also a standard of female beauty, strength, and mystery. From her role in a religious upheaval that shook Egypt to its core, to her unprecedented power as queen, and the tantalizing possibility that she ruled as a pharaoh. Nefertiti's story continues to captivate us. She is a testament to the fact that even when history tries to erase someone, true greatness can never be completely buried. Her beautiful face has come to us across the millennia, a silent witness to a revolutionary time and a life of incredible power. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the world of Queen Nefertiti. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next exploration into history. See you next time.